The discounted cash flow, and actually in the book, uses the full term net present value. Those are terms you may have heard before. They're definitely used in economics classes. They're sort of just fancy ways of describing the net present value, or how much something is worth to you today, if there's actually cash flow that occurs in the future. And this is much more simply described if you use an example of like a business, say a lemonade stand or the yoga studio we were talking about in previous chapters. If your business has a cash flow, let's say you just make $1 million a year, and every year, next year you're going to make $1 million, the next year you're going to make $1 million, the next year you're going to make $1 million. There's some history to this. There's obviously risk in the future, but you can do a mathematical formula and follow. There's plenty of formulas, and this is used very frequently. You can look them up online, or you can have people do it for you. Understand into the future all of these cash flows. How much are they in general worth to you today? What is the net present value of that cash flow? And you arrive at an actual number. There's an answer to that question. And that answer is probably how much you want to pay for that business or that product or whatever it might be. In the example of a house, it's kind of difficult to imagine, but if you could rent a house and if you had a property that created income and actual cash flow, you could do these mathematical operations on that cash flow, come up with some net present value of what that money is worth today, and then you wouldn't have your logical price using this method of pricing. That's essentially all there is to it. There's a lot built into it because there's risk. This cash flow might disappear. There are alternative things you could do with money, like invest it in something with a rate of return. So all of those assumptions are built into these models, and then different people will value those risks or rewards in different ways. But in general, there is a clear mechanism, or rather mathematics behind this, in order to establish a price.